triple Emmy nominee Maya Rudolph joins us today. And Maya, I'm Chris Beachum with Gold Derby, by the way. Maya, you had 3 career Emmy nominations before just the end of July, and you doubled that up in the span of just maybe 5 or 10 minutes on July 28th. What was that morning like for you?
It was extra sweet because it was the day after my birthday, so it felt like a little extra goodwill. People are always so nice to you on your birthday, and just when you think it's going to be over, you wake up the next morning and you get 3 Emmy nominations. I have to admit, I was shocked. Um, I guess I'm just used to not really having that kind of good fortune in that way. And I certainly wasn't anticipating it. So it feels so good to get good news. That was my first thought, really, was with everything that's going on in the world, and I'm so grateful for the career that I've had so far, and I love what I do, and I love the people that I've been able to do it with. Um, and so it's just so nice to be appreciated publicly and celebrated. And I feel like, check, I did that. I don't want to worry too much about the the ceremony, but I'm so unbelievably honored. It's really nice.
Did they say, "Hey Maya, you've got 3 Emmy nominations," or did they like break it to you one at a time?
The headline was 3, which I think was kind of the most exciting element of it all, because 1 is plenty, but 3 is what? That was kind of a shock. And then I didn't realize that one of them was that I was up against myself, which is so cool. Um, People keep asking me if I'm very competitive with myself.
Somebody
Um,
won one year in that same situation, and I
really?
can't remember who it was, but it wasn't an actor. I think it was a writer or somebody like that. But the presenter failed to tell them which one. They just said
Yeah,
their name. So they
we
got on
can't have
stage, and I
that.
can still remember them turning to the presenter and going, "Which show?" Because they wanted to make sure they were thanking the right people.
Right. Yeah, you have to know which one of your alter egos is being a diva. So you have to keep an eye on that, I think.
Well, not diva mode, but just a few days after the Emmy nominations, you find out that the person you play in the past year on SNL and who you're nominated for, playing Senator Kamala Harris, is the vice presidential nominee.
Yeah.
Tell us about your feelings about that from a career and your perspective, but also from the country's perspective.
Well, that was twofold as well. My initial response was, "Oh shit," and I didn't mean to say that publicly, but I was on a Zoom, an Emmy panel Zoom, and I thought, "Oh shit," because I thought, really, all this good fortune right now in the middle of a pandemic. Um, I feel an inherent duty to do anything I can during this election. So if that means that I'll be playing the senator again, it's my honor, and it feels at this point, to be perfectly honest, just like a civic duty, and a like honestly, like we have no choice. It was the thing that was nice about it. The nicest part about it was that it felt so hopeful to get that news again. And so I think in this long stretch, it's sort of like, wow, more good news. And the first feeling I had was I felt the word hope, and it was the first time in a long time. It felt like hope, and it felt good, and it felt positive. And I have no I'm not usually incredibly vocal politically, but I mean, I'm so thrilled with her, and I'm also just so excited for the nomination. I loved watching her speech at the DNC the other night, and I felt like, wow, my body hasn't felt that kind of positive emotion watching someone speak publicly like that in a long time. She feels like a leader, and she feels like someone who cares about us. And right now, we need that more than anything. So it felt really good to feel like there's somebody out there that cares about this country, and I think more than anything, it's just been kind of very bizarre for me to be mentioned in every sentence that mentions Kamala Harris. I didn't do all the hard work that she did, so it's fun riding on the coattails of someone so great, but it's also sort of bizarre. Um, but I'm incredibly honored to be mentioned because, I've spent years watching so many of my heroes doing their part in the elections, parodying or doing a character version of one of the candidates. So to be a member of that history is incredible. Spending years on Saturday Night Live as a cast member, but never having been a candidate on the show was pretty cool. I did play Obama once, but we cut it at dress.
Well,
But I got the meeting, so it didn't matter.
You bring such a fun energy to Senator Harris, so playful with it. Two questions really. Does she like it? And is there a secret to playing her that you've discovered?
I heard she likes it. So for me, that means more than anything because there's no greater joy than feeling like you did someone proud or they're laughing with you. That's definitely first and foremost my goal. I've never been one to get up there and try to lampoon someone in a way that makes them look like nothing but their best. But I think the thing with comedy is that you really are. I think you are looking for the laugh, and for me, that's looking for the joy and the fun. So, um, and it's hard. She's not a mess. She's cool, and she's together, and she's a leader, and she's smart, and she's brilliant, and she's powerful. So those aren't necessarily easy qualities to um, make goofy, but we figured something out with her. I think I didn't really have a take on her at first, but I just kept feeling like she's fun. She's fun. Like you'd want to hang out with her, and that was where I started the character from. Like she feels like a cool aunt. And I kept saying she feels like a cool aunt. She feels like a cool aunt. She feels like that aunt that you're like, oh, we hang out, we have a drink, we have cocktails together, like she's really cool. So we started from there. And I told my friend Steve Higgins that idea when we were doing her the first week. And he said, my wife is always saying that the fun uncle gets a moniker. He's the funkle, so she wants to be called the funt. And we thought, okay, that's it.
Well, that's perfect. Well, you mentioned some of the people over the years, Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey and Kate McKinnon, even Melissa McCarthy playing Sean Spicer have won in recent years for playing, candidates during the political process.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, to think that we'll look back at all of these political impersonators and feel like I get to be a part of that. And it's a huge time in the country where we're all looking at the election, and it's such an honor. I mean, it's not anything that I set out to do originally. Of course, the minute she started running during the debates last time, everyone kept calling me saying, you're going to get a call, you're going to get a call. And I thought, well, I mean, yeah, sure, like if I look like anybody up there, sure, I could be her. But then the minute that we put the wig on, I went, oh, I look exactly like her.
Of all well, first of all, I mean, this could be a 4-year, 8-year, 12-year job if depending on what all happens. Or do you want to just come on in a guest capacity like some of the other people have, or would you like to return and be a regular cast member?
I don't know. And that's the thing, it's like you want to be able to wave a magic wand and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, if I were able to return and do Senator Harris proud on the show, I feel like that would be amazing, but no one knows what the hell is going on right now. I don't, I'm still trying to figure out my kid's school schedule for the fall. So,
Alec Baldwin said after Trump was elected, a few months after he started playing, and he said, he thought it was just going to be a handful of weeks and a fun gig, and he didn't know it was going to be 4 years of the next 4 years of his life.
I mean, that's the nature of it. I remember having the same conversation with Tina when she was doing the same thing. I mean, luckily they both live in New York City. I think my oh shit came from, well, if they ever need me, I'll have to get on an airplane in the middle of a pandemic. But I I don't think, and I think that's part of the exhilaration and the rush of that show is not knowing what's coming next. And week to week, it is a new show, and that makes it so exciting. And even sometimes, I mean, in the past when I've flown there, we still didn't know what we were going to do. So um, it's a thrill. It's a thrill, and it's an honor. And I mean, every time I'm there, I'm so happy. It's my home, it's my family, it's my happy place. And it does give me that rush that I crave. And then I leave and I think, oh my God, I can never do that again. It's exhausting. Um, but yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I'd love to be able to tell you what's going on, but nobody knows. It's crazy. It's
Well,
crazy.
in the same category as we mentioned earlier, comedy guest actress, you're also in there for The Good Place, and
Yeah.
that's no new thing for you. You've been in there for the last couple of years. In fact, I think you know this because I talked to Darcy Carden
You
a couple
did?
of parties. You've won the Gold Derby Award the past 2 years,
Oh my
as she
God.
has on the supporting side.
Is the
Um,
dreamboat, isn't she? Boy, that Darcy Carden is something else. I
Obviously,
mean,
you had to be thrilled to see her getting in finally.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I love doing that show is getting to work with Darcy and Kristen and Ted and Will and I mean, literally everyone, Manny, everyone in that cast. Because the truth is, there's no, to me, being a sketch performer, there's no greater joy than jumping into something and everyone starts speaking the same language. And we had so much fun. And that's a testament to Mike Schur, who's once again, my Saturday Night Live homie. And, you know, knowing him for all these years and having him call and say, I'd love for you to play this part, it's such a compliment because you feel like, wow, I've done, a good amount where I feel like people really respect and like what I do. And then the fun happens. And then he knows me so well. He knows that I'm going to find joy in integrating into this group. And this group is magical. And every day was more fun than the last. And it's a huge part of why the show works. There's an inherent joy in that place. They're all really, really exceptional people. The writers, the crew, the the cast. Honestly, it's like when you know it when you walk into some situations. You can feel it, and it's people who love working together and love each other. And the more I work, the more I feel that is when that can happen. It's so lucky and it's so appreciated to be able to spend your life like that.
Well, we've talked to Mike recently. We've talked to Darcy recently, and Will. And we've asked them all about the finale. When you do a series finale like that, and you're wrapping up not only your character but everybody, what were your emotions on that last week?
um, it's funny, when they bring me in periodically, and it is so hard because I have no idea what's going on. Truly, I have no clue. And Mike always apologizes because they give me these very large, rambly things to say about things. I mean, I still don't understand what Jeremy Bearimy is. So I'm learning, and my daughter's explaining it to me because she loves the show so much. But it was really hard for me because I didn't, no one was saying what the finale was. And um, I was coming in bits and pieces, and all of a sudden there was a key, and I was like, a key for what? And there was a guy with frogs, and I didn't understand what the frogs were for. And so everyone's just very patient and takes their time, explaining that stuff to me. But I really just sort of stood back and watched these people who love each other slowly say goodbye and let each other know how much they appreciate each other. So my part was really just to get in there and feel lucky enough to behold what is one of those just moments in time where you know you're part of something special. Um, and then I got out because they were really, it was really the end of something monumental for all of them. And um, I let them, I let them have their time. And it was tough. It was actually really very, very beautiful and very, very emotional for them. Yeah.
We've never seen a character like your judge on TV. That she just was a delight every time she was on, no matter what she was doing.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, working for 20 plus years, you finally start getting treats. People, you know, who know you write things for you and say, here, I'd like you to do this. And that's what I mean when I say that's when the fun begins. You know, it's Mike gave me such a gift, and he knows that I like to play and be stupid and have fun and try to find the game and everything. And because we come from the same place, um, there was just very little conversation about how to do that. And to me, that's the honor, you know. So I think, yeah, if you're lucky enough to stick around for a while, people let you know they appreciate you.
And speaking of having fun, your third nomination this year is on voiceover for Big Mouth. Tell us about that role. And one of our guys who does a lot of our animation interviews wanted me to make sure to ask you if you've had a favorite song you've done on that show.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, Connie sings a lot. Um, Connie is another treat. Like you know, I love Nick Kroll so much. He's one of the funniest people I've ever known, truly, and he's so gifted. And I was originally meant to just play his mom on the show. Fred Armisen and I were his parents, and that was enough for me, and that was fun. And one of the fun things about animation is sometimes they give you other characters to read. So that particular week, they said, we're going to give you a hormone monstress like Nick does a hormone monster. And we said, okay. And we tried to figure her out, and we were all laughing. And we really, once we finally figured out her voice and kind of how roller coastery it was and how big it was, because she's this big, gorgeous, hairy monster thing. And she's just so womanly, but she's a lot. She's really big and forceful. And um, I mean, I noticed that they're the funnest, they're the most fun lines that I ever get to say. It's always something fun. It's always something where I'm leaving work and I'm thanking them and telling them like, I loved everything I got to say today, you know, and we just laugh our butts off. And in terms of the songs, I'm trying to think, gosh, you know, what's funny. We still need a bubble bath song. We actually, somebody took Connie sang bubble bath and made it into some like dance mix or something. And it was really funny. And I thought that's a good idea. Of all the things we've done, I think we still need our bubble bath dance anthem. So
Did they give you thoughts on how to? That's like you said. That's the two words everybody wants to hear you say.
yeah.
Did they give you thoughts on how they wanted you to do it, or did you just come up with it?
I'm trying to remember. No, it was a group effort for sure. I'm trying to remember. I think once we saw the alliteration was there for bubble bath and for my sweet little ravioli was like things like that where we knew we really like were looking to lean into and kind of like eat up certain words. I know, you know, Nick knows me well, and so sometimes he really makes sure I, I really lean heavily into the pronunciation of stuff. That's kind of a fun game. That if I'm lucky enough to record with Nick on a day of recording, then he likes to make sure that I really get in there on a lot on over pronunciation.
Maya, we are so excited for you on these three nominations. I guess you're going to be, or you're going to be part of the virtual watching and seeing what happens and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything's new, isn't it? We'll give it a shot. I'm just glad I don't have to wear heels, Chris. I'm so happy.
and do the red carpet gauntlet where we normally are. I had Hugh Jackman on earlier this week, and I asked him about. He said he was definitely going, and doing the virtual thing. He said, "No, I'm gonna." He said, "I'll be wearing a tux, like down to at least here." He said, "Don't pan down below the coat."
Yeah. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Yeah, maybe I'll wear a kilt. I haven't decided, but anything comfortable sounds fantastic. So I'm really happy to be a part of it. It's a really nice feeling.
Well, good luck with all of those, and we can't wait to see you on SNL this fall.
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Thank you.